Did you ever watch something on TV that has really no relation to you and you get emotionally invested in it? Yeah, it happened to me. Good morning. I'm Rock 107's Prospector. There was a huge tribute to Taylor Hawkins, drummer from the Foo Fighters. Saturday night in London, they had a huge show, tribute to Taylor Hawkins, featuring tons of guest musicians. So other performers include Liam Gallagher, Joe Walsh, reunited James Gang with Joe Walsh, in fact, Nile Rodgers, Kesha, AC/DC's Brian Johnson, Lars from Metallica, Queen's Brian May and Roger Taylor, Justin Hawkins from The Darkest, and he's no relation to Taylor, by the way. Police drummer Stuart Copeland, Geddy Lee, Alex Ryson from Rush as well. The Pretenders and a viral drummer, Nandi Bushell from England, the 13-year-old girl who just bangs on drums. Dave Chappelle and Jason Sudeikis gave onstage introductions. Wolfgang Van Halen came out, played 2 VH songs, On Fire and Hot for Teacher. They brought Justin Hawkins from The Darkness out for vocals on that. Paul McCartney was there, too, performed Beatles' Oh Darling with Chrissie Hynde. It said it was the first time he'd ever done it as a duet. During that whole concert, I was in Philly to see the Red Hot Chili Peppers, so I missed it. But I did catch the highlight show on Paramount Plus. And to me, the most important of them all, the most amazing guest all, I think was Taylor's son, Shane, who sat in his dad's seat and played drums on My Hero.
Ladies and gentlemen, we have one more drummer that's going to come up and play with us tonight. He's a member of our family. He needs to be here tonight with all of us. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome Mr. Shane Hawkins on the drums. Shane starts this song.
Amazing stuff there, obviously edited there. He was fantastic. I never met Taylor Hawkins. I'm tearing up watching this, watching Shane play the drums. In fact, he even dropped a little solo at the end there. So cool to see his son Shane out there playing, very emotional. Another emotional highlight for me, and I'm starting to tear up just thinking about it, was Dave Grohl ending the show with a solo version of Everlong, and part of it even broke down before he got playing it, but just even playing it through, just an amazing song.
If everything could ever feel this way forever, if anything could ever be this good, only thing I'll ever ask of you, gotta promise not to stop when I stay.
Yeah, an incredibly emotional tribute from a guy who had lost his best friend. Had my wife and I in tears, like sobbing on the couch watching it. If you missed the show, I do recommend catching the highlights. It's pretty fantastic on Paramount Plus. I'm still looking to find a place to stream the entire show without just highlights. If you know that, let me know.
Rock 107.
A Mississippi man stole an airplane and threatened to crash it into a Walmart. Target was like, hello? Today is National Fight Procrastination Day. I'm definitely going to observe it tomorrow or maybe Thursday. The college football playoffs will expand to 12 teams, so instead of beating 3 teams, Alabama has to beat 11 now.
Making sure breaking news stays broken. Tune in tomorrow for Prospector's Briefs on Rock 107.
All right, am I a jerk? I spent a couple weekends in New York City recently. On the way back from one trip with my friends, I was buying the gas. That's kind of how we do things. You get the hotel, you get breakfast, you get gas, whatever, and by the end of the trip, it all kind of evens out if we do it right. So, we're in New Jersey, we get off Interstate 80, and I direct them to a Sam's Club to gas up. We passed a couple of gas stations on the way, and they kept saying, well, what about that one? Hey, what about that one? And I'm like, no. We're going to go to Sam's Club because I can save some money there. We get to Sam's Club, and the gas is indeed cheap. 32 cents cheaper than every place we passed, including the Valero right across the street. Now, there is a long line at Sam's Club. Hey, it's 32 cents cheaper. You'd expect a line, right? And they kept saying, why don't we just cross the street, skip the line? And I'm like, no, we can wait for 32 cents a gallon. I said, I'm paying, and this is the only place I'll pay. Well, it took about 45 minutes, but we finally got gassed up and we're on the way back home. Now, the rest of the way home, they're telling me about all the stuff they're going to miss with their families because it took so long to get gas. So I ask you, does that make me a jerk? What do you think? Get at me, open mic on the Rock 107 app from your iPhone or Android. Get that message right into the Rock 107 studios or on the phone at 1-888-ROCK-107. That's 1-888-765-107. April, check it in on Facebook.com/Angry Prospector says, I would have offered to pay for the gas just to get the freak home. Yeah, you're a jerk. Jake from DuPont on the Rock Lines. What do you think, buddy?
Hey, Prospector, how you doing this morning?
Good. What do you think? Am I a jerk here?
Nah, a little bit better planning on their part, that's all.
So it's all their fault for not planning for me taking us on a 45-minute diversion.
No, you had the vacation. You had that planned already, that trip. So
the trip was planned. They should have known, make sure everything's okay. Melissa says, no, not at all. It's a great savings per gallon. And John says, I want to beat you just reading this. Yes, you're a jerk. All right, on to the Rock Lines we go. Karen in Warrior Run, what do you think? Am I a jerk?
Yes, good morning, Prospector. No, you are not a jerk for waiting to get that much gas cheap.
So, all right, so you're with me. You would do the same thing?
Because I've done the same thing. If you can get your gas that cheap, yes, you would wait. At 45 minutes, it wasn't a matter of life or death. You know what I mean? But yes.
No emergency phone calls, nothing like that, so I guess we're all right in that respect. Ruth says, I'm a Sam's girl, too. You're not a jerk. And Don says, they could have offered to pay for the expensive gas if they want. See? I'm feeling a little bit better about this. Am I a jerk? Check it in with Open Mic from the Rock 107 app.
No, you are not a jerk. You're just cheap.
So far, so good. Ken, rocking the ride to work with Rock 107 in music on his way in today. Ken, am I a jerk?
Not a jerk. You want to save a couple bucks on gas. Well, you should have gotten gas in Jersey where it's 50 cents a gallon cheaper.
Oh, I was in Jersey, and that's where we found this 32 cents a gallon cheaper, yeah.
Oh, okay.
So, in other words, we were already getting the Jersey discount, and now we're getting another 32 cents on top because I went to Sam's,
That's a win-win.
That is a win-win. And Brian says, you know what? You're a jerk. Yeah. In that instant, time's money, and you're being penny wise and pound foolish, as the old saying goes. So, yes, you're a jerk. Lisa says a little cheap, but not a jerk. And the question today of am I a jerk for waiting 45 minutes to save 32 cents a gallon for gas at Sam's Club on the way back from a trip to New York City? The answer is, convincingly, no, I am not a jerk.
Life's pretty tough right now. There's plenty of bad news, but it's not all bad. It's time for the brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
An Amazon driver in Florida saw smoke coming from a house last Tuesday, called 911, and because of her, firefighters got there just in time to put the fire out and save 3 Boston Terrier puppies that were inside.
Thanks. We needed that. The brighter side of Prospector on Rock 107.
Social media gave everyone a voice. Wouldn't it be better if some people had laryngitis? It's the wisdom of Twitter. The most amazing tweets of the week. Twitter handles have been changed to protect the stupid. On Rock 107.
At Calendar Confusion tweets, what date is the anniversary of 9/11? At Are You Sure wrote, I just realized 2020 is 2020 backwards. And that just doesn't get it asked, how did people know where to go before Google Maps?
The wisdom of Twitter.
Twitter user Census Bureau is Bogus asks, if every second someone dies and every second someone is born, why isn't the population 0? At the Candyman Can says, what goes around comes around, Carmel is a bitch. And At Least I'm Trying asks, how do you speak Braille? Is it a series of clicks? My sister's dating a blind guy, and I want to be able to communicate with him.
The wisdom of Twitter.
Twitter user My Tape Measures Are All Wrong tweeted, since when in measuring do you start at 0? I'm measuring 6 centimeters, and if you start at 0, by the time to get to 6, wouldn't you be at 7? At What's a Dictionary says, my boy doesn't like chicken. I think he's a veterinarian. And at What Do Words Mean tweets, rest in peace, all survivors of 9/11.
The wisdom of Twitter.
You know, it's much easier to turn up the brightness on your phone than on people.
Why, you people are beyond help.
But we hired them anyway. You're listening to Prospector on Rock 107.
More often than not, the original's just fine. Leave it alone, enjoy it, don't mess with it, don't remake it. Good morning, I'm Rock 107's Prospector. Now, every once in a while, somebody involves themselves in a remake, and you think, well, this might be interesting. Either because they have a fresh new take on it, or because they were part of the original crew, and you're thinking, well, maybe this is the way they wanted it the whole time. David Lee Roth shared a previously unreleased version of the Van Halen classic Panama on his YouTube channel. Now, there's no details about the complete track are given, so we don't know when it was done, who it was recorded with, who the musicians are, or any of that, but here's a sample of it.
She's crying, I'm flying, right behind in the bedroom, you know. Got the feeling, by shearing, vision about it, ain't no stopping now. Panama,
Now, it's certainly not terrible. It's heavier than the track on 1984. Maybe it's more the way David did it live on solo tours. Maybe it was something he was recording and releasing. But no offense to Diamond Dave, I'll stick with the original on that. Yeah, I think the original version of Panama, more than fine the way it was. But in case you wanted to hear it, I'm sharing it.
It's time for a little fun on the phones here at Rock 107. Good morning, I'm Prospector. Adriana, who listens to the show occasionally, said, hey, Prospector, my husband owns a detailing business, and I would love for you to prank call him. So I've worked up a little thing that I don't think he's going to want to do. A job he won't take, I'm sure of it. We're calling Adriana's husband, Juan, to see if he'll clean my car. It's another Prospector prank call on Rock 107.
A1 Detailers.
Yeah, hi, who am I speaking to?
My name is Juan.
Great. Real quick, I got a question. How late do you guys work?
Usually we're up maybe, man, we can go as late as you want. All
right, great. What I would like is an overnight job if you guys can work tonight. I give you cash and I'll pay you triple what your normal charge is.
Okay. What kind of work are you looking for?
Well, actually, it's a rental car that I need to return tomorrow. It's a rental car and I got to get it back, so I need it done tonight. It's urgent.
So you're looking for a full detail?
No, I just need the interior done. The outside, you don't need to worry about that. In fact, I'm going to have to ask you to do the work inside my garage, and I need to get it done after dark tonight. So if that...
Okay, what kind of work do you need done on the inside?
Well, actually, I just need the interior done. In fact, I have a very specific request. Are you guys able to get blue dye out?
Blue dye?
Yeah, like dye. Like if dye got all over something, like a liquid dye got over...
Yeah, we would be able to take that out.
Okay, how long do you think it would take?
Yeah, well, what area does it cover on the car? Because you're saying it's all inside the interior.
Yeah, it's all over the roof, the windshield. It went everywhere. I mean, it's just about everything has some blue dye on it.
And you need us to work overnight on the car?
Yeah, I need you to come into my garage, work tonight, and I need it done by tomorrow morning. I mean, I'll pay you cash too. How about that?
Okay, we can get it done.
Yes,
it's gonna take hours.
Okay, well, the sooner you can get here, the better. Look, I'd appreciate it if you don't share the fact that you're doing this with anyone, okay?
If you don't mind me asking, where's the dye coming from, or how did it happen in the car?
Well, no, look, honestly, that's better left unsaid. You'll be glad if I don't tell you, so don't worry about that. I do have a question, though. Are you able to get the blue dye off of, like, any surface?
Yeah, we should be able to get almost any surface off with blue dye, yeah.
Great, because some of my cash actually got the blue dye on it as well, so I would need you to clean the cash before I give it to you.
Hold on. You got a dye on your cash, too?
Well, when it got all over the car, it got on some of the cash, too. So my point is, look, I'll pay you double, triple, I'll pay you quadruple what anyone's going to pay you. And we'll give you, in fact, while you're the cash you're cleaning, I'll just hand that money over right to you.
Yeah, you know, we can't really clean cash.
Really?
Yeah, cash is...
Well, how soon can you be at the place?
You know, if we weren't busy, we would be able to be there ASAP within 15, 20 minutes. But the sound of this job...
The sound's what?
The sound of the job is a little iffy. You got blue dye all over the car.
Iffy meaning
you
what?
got blue dye on the cash. It makes it seem a little iffy.
Hey, look, I'm willing.
And you want me
I'm willing to pay you quadruple. Are you not willing to do it?
This cash out. I understand. I understand you're willing to pay me as much money as needed. But this is a concern.
Well, if you have a concern, just state it.
You have some guy that you got in your car that was
what's the concern?
Your car, but it's a rental car.
Right. Okay, I don't understand the concern. Just say it.
I'm concerned that this money was stolen. I'm concerned that the car was in a situation it shouldn't have been.
What situation is that?
I'm concerned, honestly, that you robbed the bank. What's so funny?
Juan.
Yes.
I don't want you to be concerned, okay? Don't be concerned. I'm going to tell you what happened, all right?
Okay.
We actually got your number from your wife, Adriana. This is a Prospector prank call. You're on Rock 107 right now.
Are you kidding me?
No, man, you're on Rock 107.
Oh, my God, dude. I thought you were seriously a bank robber. Like, you don't just die in the car. Oh, my God, man. My heart's beating out my chest right now. Oh.
Number 1.
It seems like drug users are making it easier and easier for cops to catch them. It's almost like something's eating away at their brains. A 30-year-old woman in Florida saw some cops outside a bar Tuesday night, so she walked up to them and asked if they could arrest her. She literally said, "Can you arrest me? I have drugs on me." She pulled 2 small baggies out of her pockets, handed them to the cops, saying they were meth. The officers conducted a field test on the substance. It came back positive for meth. They also noted the woman seemed high, so they granted her request and arrested her for possession of a controlled substance, which is a felony. And it's not her first arrest. Her rap sheet includes convictions for narcotic possession, theft, tampering with a motor vehicle, forgery, and leaving the scene of an accident.
Nominee number 2.
When they say teach a man to fish, I don't think this is what they had in mind. 27-year-old Sean Stewart has been on a fishing expedition of sorts for months. Officials say it started back in January of this year when Stewart started trying to rob the night depository boxes at banks. He did it using a rodent glue trap attached to a fishing hook and fishing line. Stewart would feed the trap into the boxes, try to get the money stuck on the trap, and then fish the money out of the banks with the fishing line. Police say he was only successful a few times out of the many times he tried it. He was arrested. He now faces 13 counts of burglary in the second degree.
And the winner is
the guy who robbed night depositories at banks with a glue trap and fishing line. Yeah. The risk reward on a robbery like that is really not in your favor. You're the Yam Bag of the Day, and we'll move on to Friday's Yam Bag of the Week competition. Stay tuned for all the nominees for Prospector's Yam Bag of the Day, weekday mornings on Rock 107. Thanks for listening to Prospector's Prime Cuts podcast. Be sure to catch us live weekdays from 5:30 to 10 a.m. on Rock 107 or online at rock107.com or the Rock 107 app, a free download for your Android or iPhone. Subscribe to the podcast on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher Radio, or wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss Prospector's Prime Cuts.